Hello everyone, this is Showtime 112. Planning of the war against Iraq in 2003 initially included invasion from the north as well, but Turkey denied the use of its territory to the US-led coalition. One of the countries which covertly permitted the use of its territory for attacks against Iraq was Jordan. And one of American units to operate from this country was Alabama Air National Guard's 160th Fighter Squadron. They were equipped with Block 30 F-16s referred to as F-16C+. Those airframes were more advanced than similar Air Force examples because the National Guard was able to cut through the red tape more effectively and purchase items such as saddle data link for their F-16s. Missions flown by the squadron's F-16s mostly included scud hunting, plus recce and support to various Special Forces troops on the ground. These missions were often uneventful, consisting mostly of checking possible daytime hiding places for Iraqi Scud ballistic missiles. Even when they found possible targets, getting attack permission from AWACS controllers was often denied. One interesting factor which is generally unknown is that there was a shortage of bomb fuses, so sometimes coalition aircraft carried bombs with only one fuse per bomb instead of regular two. Major Ned Lynch dropped his laser-guided bomb on an artillery piece, but the bomb was a dud, probably because the single fuse failed. The second bomb worked, and it also activated the ammo storage, causing plenty of secondary explosions. On 30 March 2003, Major Lynch and his wingman Brian Wolfman Wolf were flying another scud hunting mission in western Iraq. Their call signs were Honcho 2-3 and 2-4. Weather was terrible and the mission's intention was probably more of making a presence. But as their vault time was approaching the last hour, Lynch received a call from AWACS telling them that a Special Forces team was in jeopardy. This was in fact the British Special Boat Service M Squadron, located about 10 minutes of flight from the two F-16s. Mission had gone wrong and the 52 men were now scattered, with regular Iraqi army and irregular Fedayeen forces completely surrounding them. F-16s established contact with the SBS team on guard frequency.
Vader Honcho 2-3, we're 8 miles out from those coordinates.
Two men from two separate groups communicated with the Honcho flight. One of them was extremely agitated, asking the F-16 pilots to attack anything that was more than 300 meters away from their position.
Vader 5, roger that.
It's spoon race! We have got them totally around us within 300 meters!
Strobe on when you're in
Okay,
location.
clear trail to go down lower.
Speed! Over.
Vader 05, this is Honcho 2-3 on guard. I'm overhead your position, descending down through the weather. I need to get a talk on.
The main problem was that F-16 pilots couldn't easily find the location of the SBS team. There was a sandstorm with low overcast and no moon or stars. Night vision goggles the pilots used were not too helpful. The only hope was for the pilots to see strobe, a handheld device emitting infrared light which couldn't be seen with naked eye.
Do you need...
Roger that. From our strobe, we are talking north. We have lights approaching this location.
The enemy around our position has turned down the lights over.
Lynch and Wolf dropped their altitude, looking for the strobe light, deliberately going under the rules of engagement limit of 10,000 feet. This could get them in trouble, but Major Lynch knew that Special Forces people are not likely to sound like the man on the radio, unless the situation was extremely serious.
Fast there! The enemy now is around us. They have turned out all the lights. Still moving
left-hand
west
turn.
of us over.
He was circling over the location given by the ground team and made diving passes, but on several attempts he couldn't spot the strobe light. Lynch reduced cockpit lights and HUD brightness to minimum, while his wingman was checking his altitude. Spatial disorientation was a big problem under such conditions, only made worse by the F-16's no-frame bubble canopy. After one pass, Lynch was given a missile warning. He was able to maneuver and avoid it.
Fast there! We need your help, okay? What can you ask for us to do? Do you want us to put a strobe on everything around us within 300 meters, totally and utterly destroy? We are surrounded, they have taken all lights out.
Roger, I have a strobe.
Happy friendlies.
And I need you to leave your strobe on if you can.
Lynch finally spotted the strobe light, but only on the pull-up. His wingman, Wolfman, flying in a trail formation, also spotted the strobe, and Lynch now gave him the tactical lead. Wolfman dropped a GBU-12 laser-guided bomb in manual, unguided mode, aiming at about 3 kilometers from the SBS team's strobe light.
One bomb away, we're covering.
Roger, visual on tap.
Climbing away, he released flares too, partly to protect himself from a possible missile and partly for a psychological effect. This seems to have worked because the SBS man was now talking more calmly. F-16s flew some more passes, dropping flares as they went. The ground team was able to evacuate to the south. Although Lynch and Wolf didn't know that until several days later, all 52 SBS men survived. What about the sonic booms from the title? Certain sources which deal with this incident suggest that the F-16s were deliberately using supersonic booms to discourage Iraqi troops from attacking the British team. Smithsonian Channel's episode of Air Warriors puts this in the main focus. Lynch, who was a guest in the episode, talked about it. A book titled 06 Bravo, which describes the SBS team mission in details, also talks about engine sounds being used as a weapon. It even suggests that F-16s were able to see Iraqi tanks and trucks but refused to drop bombs on them because they couldn't verify that no friendlies were near them. The book specifically says that no bombs were dropped by the F-16 flight, while Air Warriors episode doesn't say anything about it. However, there is a very extensive interview given recently by Ned Lynch on the 10% True podcast, where he mentions no sonic booms. He just briefly states that engine noise, flares, and especially one bomb they dropped were enough to disrupt the Iraqi attack and give the SBS team a chance to escape. The diving passes he made were primarily just unsuccessful attempts to locate the SBS team and drop a bomb relative to their position. Hot tape with radio communication is consistent with Lynch's interview, and much less so with the story presented by the Air Warriors episode or the 06 Bravo book. If you like the video, be sure to press the like button. Support the channel on Patreon, join our Discord server, and keep watching Showtime 112.